In this video, I am simply going to run you through this index.html file that I had you copy and paste into our blockchain project in the last lesson. So I just want to run you through this file real quick, just so you have a better understanding of what exactly is going on in here. So basically, this entire file, when it's opened in the browser, it looks like this. So it's just a pretty simple block explorer for our blockchain. Inside of this file, we have all of this HTML, and then we have some JavaScript right inside of here, which adds some functionality to our block explorer and allows us to hit our API. And then we just have some CSS and some styles down here, which just makes everything look good in the browser. So up here at the top of the file in our HTML, we are importing a couple of libraries. We are importing AngularJS, and this is what we are using to hit our API. We are importing jQuery and Bootstrap and some Bootstrap styles to make everything functional and to make everything look good. Next, we have the body of our HTML, and it's pretty simple. We have a title of Block Explorer. Next, we have a text input right here, and this is what the text input looks like inside of the browser. It's this one right here, and this is where we will enter any block hash or transaction ID or address that we are looking for. Next, we have a select input, which has three options in it: the block hash, transaction ID, or address, and you can find that right here. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to input a block hash, a transaction ID, or an address, and then we're just going to select which one it is from this drop-down. And finally, inside of our HTML, we just have some tables that will display all of our data for us once we have some data in our blockchain. Cool. So next we have the JavaScript section of the file. And we are using Angular in this project to make the calls to our API. So right here you can see we are hitting our block/block hash endpoint, and we hit this endpoint whenever we select block hash and we hit search. And as you can tell, this is not a valid block hash, so we get no data returned. And then this method is hitting our transaction ID endpoint that we just created, and this method is hitting our address endpoint that we just created as well. And then throughout the rest of this JavaScript, we just have a little bit more functionality, and then we have our styles down here in our CSS. Cool. So that's about it for our Block Explorer HTML file. If you want to dig a little bit deeper into it to understand it a little better, feel free. And you can also customize it however you would like to. But basically how the front end of our Block Explorer works is you pick what you are looking for, whether it's a block hash, a transaction ID, or an address, and then you input the piece of data that you are looking for into our input box right here. Then you press search, and if the data exists in our blockchain, you will see a table displayed that will show all of that data. And if the data does not exist in our blockchain, you will get the result that no data was found for the search. And that's it. That's how our Block Explorer front end will work. So at this point, we have a whole entire Block Explorer front end built out, and we have the back end of our Block Explorer built out, which is the three endpoints that we just created to search through our entire blockchain, which are right here. Cool. So in the next video, we are going to test to make sure that our Block Explorer works correctly. I'll see you in the next video.